Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Karleen. This is Hello Karleen. Those of you that know me, welcome. Those of you that don't, welcome too. The concept of time travel has fascinated humanity for centuries, blending science fiction with tantalizing hints of scientific possibility. Stories of alleged time travelers such as John Titor, a supposed military man from 2036, fuel speculation about our ability to manipulate time. Time travel raises profound questions about causality, free will, and the nature of reality. With advances in quantum mechanics and theories like Einstein's relativity, the idea doesn't seem entirely implausible. Could time travelers already be among us, subtly influencing key moments in history? Or is this just a reflection of humanity's yearning to change the past and shape a better future? Have time travelers already walked among us, subtly altering the course of history? Could their presence explain strange coincidences and unsolved mysteries? With scientific advances edging closer to making the impossible plausible, it's time to explore whether the answers to time travel lie in our future or in our past. Join me as we delve into the mysteries of time, causality, and the human imagination. What will I be able to see via tarot and intuition about time travelers and their role, possibly, in our world today? Time travel isn't just a wild fantasy. Einstein's theory of relativity already tells us that time is not a fixed constant, but a dimension that can be stretched or compressed. This means that time travel is theoretically possible under specific conditions, such as traveling at the speed of light or near a black hole where gravity warps space-time. Scientists have even explored the concept of wormholes, theoretical shortcuts through space-time that could allow for time travel. Quantum mechanics adds even more intrigue. Some interpretations suggest particles can exist in multiple states across time, which raises tantalizing questions about whether time itself is more flexible than we think. But there are problems with time travel for us, such as causality and paradoxes. One of the biggest barriers to practical time travel is the causal loop problem. If you traveled back in time and changed an event, like preventing an accident or altering history, wouldn't that create a paradox? For instance, if you prevented your grandparents from meeting, would you even exist to travel back in time? These paradoxes seem to suggest that time travel would disrupt the flow of cause and effect in ways that we can't yet resolve. The butterfly effect. Even the smallest changes in the past could create catastrophic ripple effects in the future. A seemingly minor action like moving a pebble or speaking to the wrong person could change the entire course of history in ways that are impossible to predict or control. Energy requirements. Time travel would likely require an unfathomable amount of energy. Traveling at the speed of light or manipulating space-time on a meaningful scale is beyond anything humanity can currently achieve. The energy needed might even surpass the total energy available in our universe. Limited access points. Even if time travel were possible, it might not work the way we imagine. For instance, some theories suggest that you could only travel back to the point when the time machine was first invented. This would mean that jumping to the age of the dinosaurs or meeting Leonardo da Vinci might remain out of reach. Dimensional boundaries. Some theorists suggest that traveling through time might actually mean jumping into parallel universes rather than altering our own timeline. This would make changing the past irrelevant because your actions would only affect a different version of reality and not your own. The truth might be that our understanding of time is too limited. What we perceive as linear time could be an illusion created by our minds to organize experiences. If time isn't linear but cyclical, overlapping, or multidimensional, then our entire approach to traveling through it might be flawed. Moreover, if time travel does exist, it could be happening on levels of existence we can't yet perceive, quantum levels, higher dimensions, or within the consciousness itself. In this sense, time travel might already work, but only for beings or entities more advanced than us. Time travel may remain tantalizingly out of reach for now, not because it's impossible, but because we might not yet be ready to wield its immense power responsibly. If we ever unlock its secrets, we'll need to grapple with the profound ethical, scientific, and spiritual questions that it raises. Until then, time travel might remain a paradoxical dance between possibility and impossibility, a mystery that continues to fascinate and inspire and challenge us. Three famous time traveler claims would be John Titor. I mean, there's so many more, but John Titor was a time traveler supposedly from the year 2036, and he appeared on internet forums back in 1998. I think it began actually, or till 2001. He claimed to be a U.S. soldier sent back in time to retrieve a vintage IBM 5100 computer, which he said was critical for debugging future computer systems. His predictions about future events, such as a civil war in the United States, sparked intrigue but didn't come to fruition yet. Why he's famous? Titor provided detailed descriptions of his time machine and its operation, blending science fiction with theoretical physics. He also apparently gave insider knowledge, unknown for the public knowledge, on the IBM 5100 computer, which led to the belief that he must have been, if he wasn't a real time traveler, which a lot of people don't believe, that he must have been some kind of a programmer or something like that. The second one is Billy Meier. Billy Meier is a controversial Swiss man who claimed contact with extraterrestrials. Meier also stated he traveled through time with the help of these aliens. He allegedly visited prehistoric Earth, saw ancient civilizations, and even witnessed events in the far future. His detailed accounts and supposed photographic evidence have been heavily criticized, but they continue to captivate UFO and time travel enthusiasts. And then there's Al Bielek. A central figure in the Philadelphia experiment conspiracy theory, Bielek claimed he was part of a U.S. military project that involved time travel. He alleged that the experiment caused a Navy ship to become invisible and that he was transported to both the future and the past. His story connects time travel to government experiments and the Montauk Project conspiracy theory. Okay, so the first place we can start off is I went to nasa.gov because, yeah, right? So is time travel possible? And they said that although humans can't hop into a time machine and go back in time, we do know that clocks on airplanes and satellites travel at a different speed than those on Earth. And they go on to say that we all travel in time. We travel 1 year in time between birthdays, for example, and we are all traveling in time at approximately the same speed, 1 second per second. NASA space telescopes also give us a way to look back in time. Telescopes help us to see stars and galaxies that are very far, far away. It takes a long time for the light from faraway galaxies to reach us. Okay, not going to get into debates with you guys about whether this is real or whether it's a dome and whether we're all in the Truman Show. I get it. I'm just finding common ground for this concept and this idea. So then they go on to explain Einstein's theory of relativity and how time travels slower the faster that you travel, or the slower you experience time, the faster that you travel, and how gravity also seems to play a role, so that if the higher up you go, the slower time also seems to flow. All right, so it's an interesting read, kept very simple. And then I went over to Scientific American, and is time travel possible? The laws of physics allow time travel, so why haven't people become chronological hoppers? And they kind of break it down about where and why and how and so on and so forth. So it's really interesting, and dive in. And then I jumped over to documentaries.org, and there was this write-up on John Titor and everything that he did. But we're going to do a reading on John Titor and see if he really was who he really was. And time travel claims and urban legends. I scrolled through that one, and everybody remembers this one. This is a picture of the traveling hipster. This was the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia in 1941. And this guy seemed so futuristic, compared to everyone around him, very casually dressed, but apparently everything can be broken down. Apparently Ray-Ban had these kind of glasses already back then, since the 1920s or 30s. This was some kind of a sweater that a hockey team used, and the jacket was also could also have been of the time. But he does look like there's something different about him that does stand out. Like his vibe is not the vibe of the people around him. Definitely not. But yeah, so that's interesting. But it lists a whole bunch of other urban legends, but also really questionable cases. And then, of course, there's John Titor. Again, we're going to dive into that. This is the purported military insignia that he came in with. And one of the things that a lot of people like really find fascinating is the concept of the doppelganger. So especially if there's time in between. So for example, here, Johnny Depp and this person's great grandfather. What does that mean? Or Andy Samberg and Daniel Radcliffe over here. Sorry. But if they'd met back in the 70s, these are two completely different people. And not only what are the odds of them taking a picture together in the same setup? So that's something that we're going to dive into. I really want to look at this. I had a friend back in, a very long time ago in Canada, and his name was Patrick, and he looked exactly like Eddie Murphy. Like, people thought he would walk through the streets in Ottawa, and people thought he was Eddie Murphy. They literally thought he was Eddie Murphy. And then this is somebody's friend. This is a guy who looks like Natalie Portman when he was 13 years old. And the jokes he must have gotten then, but there's so many people that, what is this effect? Like, these people look exactly alike. This is a famous one of Jay-Z and A Man in Harlem in 1939. So it's really, and this is a famous one of the Egyptian actress and Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, okay. So we'll have a look at some of these, and this is also fascinating. What is this reproduction in this matrix of specific images, right? So here's this Egyptian bust and Michael Jackson. Like, the detail of similarity is absolutely striking. So let's get started with this and have a look and see what's going on with time travel. And especially, let's start off with John Titor. Was it John Titor? Was he for real? Because there, it splits the internet. Some say he was absolutely real, and others say no, for sure not. For sure not. Okay, so let's have a look at John Titor, because he's one of the most famous ones. One of the most famous ones. So let's have a look and see what comes up. John Titor, please. John Titor, what's the main message? Angel of Liberation. That's what comes up here. Then Angel of Filial Submission. Angel of Loyalty. Was John Titor real? Who is John Titor? Angel of Refuge and Shelter. Okay, this is interesting. So we've got these four angels, liberation, and this is his story. This is Titor's story, right? So Angel of Loyalty, Refuge and Shelter, Liberation. This is basically what he told, what he spoke about. He was back on a mission. He was part of a military organization. He was back on a mission, and he was trying to do something positive with his time here, apparently, or this character, or the storyline, the narrative. And of course, people will say John Titor's been debunked. Why are you even getting into it? And but some people still believe. So let's have a look. Some people, and I'm not saying I do, but let's have a look. I'm curious though, what's going to come out, just as an experimentation, just having fun with this here. Okay, John Titor. What's coming up and out for John Titor, please? We've got the moon card. Okay, so there's some fear, anxieties, worries here, a lot of fear. John Titor, who has this Three of Cups. I feel like there's a joke. And we've got against the institution or for the institution. This is the Hierophant, which represents institutions. This may have been also somebody who was at a university or in university at the time. We've also got the Knight of Cups. Oh, Knight of Cups can be fantasies, right? These can be, I wouldn't say flat out lies, but storytelling. And we've also got Judgment, renewal. Was John Titor real? We've got the Queen of Swords. Okay. Discernment is necessary. Discernment is key. John Titor. What's going on here? We've got the Hanged Man. Okay. Oh, and the Three of Work. Okay, there's something here. There's something that's not quite, that's not quite adding up. So I feel like there's something that's not quite adding up here. Something that's not quite adding up. John Titor. Whoops. Sorry for my scrawl, but I just, John Titor. I'm getting like the infinity loop, the 8 and the infinity loop. That's what I want to do. So, no, I need this one. Thank you. So I'm just going to leave the infinity loop here on the side. And it feels as if, wow, John Titor. All of a sudden, as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing like this red square, red color. And I'm picking up glints of gold. I don't know where to put the gold though, but for some reason this is important. I'm picking up glints of gold. I don't know what that is. Okay, John Titor. Liberation, submission. Was John Titor real? Yes or no? I'm getting a yes. Okay, was he real in the sense that real, like human being, human life real, or a real creation? Was he a human being? Was John Titor a human being? And I'm getting no. Okay. Was John Titor from this time? No. Was John Titor a creation of someone in this time? And I'm getting a resounding yes. So John Titor was real, yes. But he was real because he was a creation? Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put the red and the gold over on the left because I'm still seeing that very distinctly. So I'm seeing like this rectangle square kind of. And I'm getting gold. Was John Titor a mission? No. Was he on a mission? No. Was he a joke? No. Okay. Is something political behind John Titor? Yes. Was this intended to somehow sway people? No. Confuse people. Confusion. Yes. Okay. Spirit guides. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Was John Titor real? Yes. Was he a real person? No. Was he here to sow confusion? Yes. Is time travel real? Yes. For species in the future? Yes. For species in the past? Yes. For our current species? Yes. So there are people at this time who are able to time travel? Yes. Okay. Is it something technological or something inherent in people? Inherent or tech? They're wanting to circle tech. It's a technology. Okay. Did John Titor come to help us or save us? No. Did John Titor want to help himself? Yes. I'm guessing you mean the person behind John Titor. Yes. Was John Titor a character or an avatar? Avatar. Was the person behind John Titor from the future? Was the person behind John Titor from the future? Was the person behind John Titor from the future? I'm getting that is a difficult question to pose. Which future do you speak of? Which future do you propose? If that person had a future, he did. If that person was in the future, he is. If that person is in your now, he is. If that person is in your past, he is. Who was behind John Titor? Who was behind John Titor? Was it a man, a woman, or a group? Man, woman, group. They want to go crazy around group. Was this group American? No. Chinese? No. Russian? They want to go crazy around that. Okay. I'm also seeing a basement, you guys. Like, this is really cliche. It's super cliche, but it's a basement. It's one of those 80s basements, you know, meaning now, but not renovated since the 80s kind of thing. One of those cozy man cave basements with lots of tech stuff. Tech gadgets are everywhere, but old stuff as well, like tape cassettes and recorders. This is someone who would build their own computer. This is someone who is tech geeky, tech geek. I see glasses, and I feel they're pretty young. They're young and they're idealistic. They're idealistic. I feel school is important, like university or college. And I feel like people that knew him didn't know him. They thought they knew him. It's kind of like you know your neighbor. You know your neighbor exists. And so you're like, yeah, I know him, but you don't really know him. So people had no clue what he was doing, like really doing in that basement, and still don't know. I don't feel he was a hacker. I'm asking Spirit on the back end if he's a hacker. They're saying no. But he could hack, but he wasn't a hacker. And there's some kind of a political conviction, a political direction to this person. Lots of red. Lots of red. Red everywhere. It's all red. Okay. So was John Titor real or not? Yes, he was a real creation. So to Spirit, he's absolutely real, because even things that don't have a body or are non-corporeal are real. So in that sense, yes. But was he a creation of a man? Yes. Was he an avatar of a man? Yes. Was that man able to live vicariously through this creation? Yes. But I feel like I'm looking at a young kid, you know, who's just, things blew up. Things blew up. That's what I want to say. Things blew up. And this person may have had a brother, and with whom they because all of a sudden I'm seeing two men, and they may have had a brother with whom they spoke about things or chatted about some things at least. Brother. But there's something with a filial submission. Come on, take it. Brother. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Like, I am getting more stuff, but it feels more personal stuff about this person. Like they would have needed shelter. I feel like they weren't really in a safe place. I feel like back then they were looking to liberate somehow with this angel of liberation. They were looking to somehow liberate themselves, or they felt that people needed liberation. I don't know if this was like an extended projection of sorts, because they needed liberation. They wanted to liberate others. Not quite sure. Okay, so that's what I'm getting in regards to John Titor. You guys, you let me know in the description box below what you feel about that whole John Titor story, especially if you know a lot about it. And let me know. So I'll pull one more card for John Titor and see, was this a real time traveler? And the answer is Hermit. This is someone who is on the search for something, who's looking for something, and that was part of the story. So this also shows how, Spirit sees things that are, this thought form is very real of John Titor. It's a very real thing. Fool, new beginnings. And we've got 4 of the Emperor. So there's something to it. Like there's something to the story. But I feel it pertains more to the person behind John Titor, who may have used Titor as an avatar, as a creation to live through or interact with this world. Was John Titor tech? Is there a human being behind John Titor? Is there a human being behind John Titor? Ace of Wands. Queen of Wands. 6 of Coins. There's some kind of money exchange. 8 of Wands and communication. So the first card is, yes, there's a human being behind John Titor. Okay. So there's that. It's not AI or some kind of a computer program, because people were wondering, we're thinking that too back then. Maybe this is a computer program that somehow went rogue or something like that. Who knows? But let's have a look at some questions around time travel and dive into that and see what comes up. What comes up? Oh, before I go into the time travel thing, I'm sure some of you guys want to know about Bielek and if that was real or not real. And because he was very controversial. And so it seems as if these figures have been debunked pretty much, but we're still going to have a look. Maybe there was something to it. And let's see. Bielek, Angel of Truth, Liberty, and Justice. That's what comes up here. And he certainly believed it was the truth. Al definitely believed it was the truth. Bielek, was it the truth? Some very strange things happened to Al. Very, very strange things. That's what I'm picking up right away. It wasn't the full truth that he told, but it also wasn't completely a lie. So there we have it. King of Swords. This is someone who's very intellectual, who really likes to rip things apart, has to look at things. And this is also someone who shredded himself. I also feel like there was some kind of a mental health issue, because what I'm focusing in on as I look at this card is the man with the wounds all around his head. So there are cuts and tears and scars all around his head. But it also feels like these wounds are self-inflicted, and it's almost as if they came from overthinking things. This is someone who absolutely overthought things, who thought way too much. Bielek. We've got the Magician, right? He wanted to control reality. He wanted to be able to control certain aspects of reality, did a lot of experiments around that. We also have the 4 of Wands, which indicates successes. He had some successes with some of his experiments and some of his endeavors. Another thing about this card is secrets in this deck. So secret societies, secret groups, secret things of that nature. And he kind of unfolded the veil in front of the secrets of nature. I feel that he would have also wanted to teach what he learned, what he knew, but wasn't allowed. The fool, he's, but we also have someone who walked a lonely path, looking into the nature and looking into reality of things. And we've got the Five of Cups, tons and tons of grief, emotional grief. And I feel that came through non-acceptance. The devil, he went deep into the darkness as well. He found some really horrendous things. Things did happen to him. Three of Wands, a new vision. Something happened to Bielek, and he experienced things. I feel like he broke the barrier. That's what I'm hearing. He broke the barrier. It's like each one of us has something that protects our minds, and our minds are protected by this whatever you want to call it, right? So it might be a concept. It might be the universe is up and the earth is down, like there's just that base understanding of reality, and that shattered for him. That absolutely shattered. I literally feel like that shattered. And so all of a sudden he had these spaces where things could come in from the outside. And they did. And I feel like he wasn't able, that's what I'm hearing right now, he wasn't able to really discern between, because all of it became real. It was all real. So the structures that holds down a mind in this reality, that was still real to him, so he could absolutely function. But also these things that came in from outside the barrier were also real. And so for us, and they were real, they are real, but they came from a different reality, a different version of reality. So I feel like he was tapped into multiple realities at the same time. That's what I'm hearing, multiple realities. And he did that through his experimentation. That's supposed to be an S. Experimentations. He kind of, I'm hearing he broke the veil. His veil, not the veil of humanity, clearly, but his veil. And what has been seen cannot be unseen. He couldn't go back. He couldn't go back. And he started experiencing all kinds of things. And I feel like he also witnessed experiences of other beings and thought they were his own. Okay? So that's what Spirit is also telling me, is that he witnessed experiences of other beings and thought they were his own. They became his own experience. They became his experience. He was trying to crack the secrets of the universe and trying to crack the code of the universe, but the universe kind of cracked him. He'll be back. Like I'm hearing he's coming back. He's coming back and he's going to try it again. He's going to try it again in his next life. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing. He's going to try it again. So in his next life, he might be back as some kind of a scientist or researcher again, but more official, more access to things that will support his research. But he's going to come back in as some kind of a consciousness researcher. Okay. And I feel this multiple reality thing, he's going to be playing a significant role in his next life in exploring that, because he did experience something, but it's not something that we would call in this reality absolutely real. But it is real, but it came in from a different reality. Okay. All right, so much to Bielek. Okay, so let's have a look at the questions that I have in regards to time travel and what's coming up there. Okay, so let's get into the questions. And question number 1 is time travel truly possible? And if so, have humans already discovered it? Have time travelers from the future influenced significant historical events? Are there hidden messages in our world left by time travelers? Does time travel operate in a way, sorry you guys, Does time travel operate in a way that creates alternate timelines, or is it limited to one shared timeline? So is time travel truly possible? Let's have a look. Is time travel truly possible? Is time travel truly possible? And the card that came out is the Six of Cups, and this is fundamentally a yes card. This is fundamentally a yes card. And we see like the child giving something to the adult, or in the reverse. This is interesting for the tarot to give me this card. This could be your inner you as a small version giving something to your older version, or in return, right? If we see this as the flow of time between being a child and being an adult. And so, yeah, we are always traveling. That's what they're saying, is that we're already time travelers. We already travel through time. And it seems that it is fundamentally possible. Yes. And what we're looking for, though, is it possible to go from adult to child, right? So to move backwards in time, because we keep traveling forwards in time, or what we think is time or experience is time. So is it truly possible? Have humans already discovered it? Have they already discovered it? And we've got the Three of Swords, so that would be a fundamental no. That would be a clear no. Humans have not yet discovered time travel. Have humans of this age discovered time travel? Yes or no? No, clearly not. Have humans in previous times discovered time travel? Yes. Yes, humans previously in a previous civilization had discovered time travel. Is this pre-deluge? Is this pre-deluge? Yes. Okay, so there's that. There's that. But there was a hesitation, so I feel like does it go further back than the deluge? It's asking me which deluge, which one? The big one that sunk Atlantis and parts of the world 20,000 years ago. Was it pre 20,000 years ago? Was it prior? No. Was it after 20,000 years? Yes. Ooh. Was it a civilization that is next to ours? No. Was it our human civilization? Yes. Okay, so they're saying that some group did discover time travel post-deluge. You're sure this is post-deluge? Post 20,000 years ago. Yes. I'm getting a big resounding yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Was this during the World War II? Yes. Was this the Philadelphia experiment? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, but there was also an instance I'm hearing and feeling before that. They're showing me a ship. All of a sudden I saw a ship. It's the 1800s, and I saw a ship. This is a ship with a big sail, with the big sails, and it all of a sudden there's a fog. I see a fog, and it just goes into that fog and never comes back out. So they're constantly, for some reason with ships, it has to do with the water, the ocean, something to do with that. Okay, so there's something about that. Okay, but fundamentally they're saying yes, yes, we've discovered time travel, and after the deluge, World War II, but they also showed me the 1800s as being significant time. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, which was, have time travelers from the future come back and influence significant historical events? Oh, all of a sudden I got the feeling that's why our timelines keep changing. We thought that, you know, some people were talking about CERN being the manipulator of timelines, CERN manipulating through whatever it is that they're doing or investigating there, that it's actually CERN that's manipulating, creating these timeline jumps and shifts, which create the Mandela effects that we keep experiencing, right? And but they're saying it's not. It's from the future returning and realigning things. They work in a political advisory capacity. You guys are not going to believe this video. I know I'm going to get comments at the bottom going with, oh, WTF, Karleen. But yeah, all of a sudden, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing they work in a political advisory capacity. I'm hearing that they know that there are time travelers. They know that. They know that some things that we experience or see as UFOs or would be their UAPs, they're not. They're time travelers, and they're helping us rewrite our future. And but I also feel like there's something holding them up. There's something holding them up from completely just doing it themselves, but also a force. I feel a force that is going against, because there is a force that doesn't want us to exist. It doesn't want us to exist. Okay. So I'm getting this scrawl all of a sudden. It's crazy. There's a force. Whoa, and there it went. All of a sudden, you guys can still see my whiteboard, but here behind the scenes, it just vanished off the screen. Okay, so there's something that doesn't want us to exist. Okay, are there, what timelines, what things did they change? What did they change? They changed the, oh gosh. This is going to be one of those videos where I'm going to be like, should I even post this? They changed the outcome of this because this should have led to something else. Nostradamus saw a man from the south, or the Middle East, who would kick things off. We interpreted it as the Middle East, but apparently this should have kicked off something. That situation between, that's what I'm hearing. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. So all I can do is go with it. This situation had a different outcome on the original timeline. That was changed. The point that was changed is the nuclear ending. Because now they're just talking threats, but they're not going to do it. There will not be. That is not going to happen. On the old timeline, it did happen. On the old timeline, it happened. What else? What else did they change, please? They're attempting to... I'm hearing something about the Middle East, and they attempted to change. What did they change? What did they attempt to change? Israel did not exist anymore. On the old timeline, Israel did not exist anymore. On the old timeline, I'm seeing everything like oh, all of a sudden my thing is just bouncing away. It disappears underneath another window, my whiteboard. On the old timeline, I have to be careful because something doesn't want me to talk, and when that happens, I have to mind it because so. But on the old timeline, I see lots of, all of a sudden I saw bombs going off everywhere, buildings just crumbling. The ocean, even the ocean, even this feels like the Mediterranean, even the ocean. But everything just crumbling, and it feels like all the countries in the Middle East came together. They came together on the old timeline and worked together and took out. And that's part of what caused, so they completely, you guys are going to have to watch this. If you're listening to it, you're going to have to look at the screen for a moment. But I'm stunned because the images are just running through my mind, and it feels like this is very, very, yeah. So there were two major hotspots, and they changed those. They changed those. They changed those. What else did they work on? And I'm asking, are they behind the recent changes that the US wants to push through? Are they behind the recent changes? And I'm getting a no. I'm getting a strong no. That's an old plan. They're showing me an old plan. All of a sudden I saw this. What the hell? All of a sudden I saw this old map. It's like they unfolded this map, and it's really old. And they're pointing with sticks to points on the map. And they're saying this and this, and it's an old plan. It's an old plan. It's been talked about in certain circles forever. The things that are coming up now that have been proposed, such as Greenland and all that stuff. It's an old plan. It's part of the, we heard about it. We heard about it in 1984, the book by George Orwell, where there are only 3 groups. So I think there was Oceania, something Europe, and something Asia. I think those, I don't remember, but I remember there were 3 main territories, and they were always going at it with each other. So this North American is a response to the BRICS. Okay, so they're like, okay, you do you, boo. We don't need you anyways. But it's not coming, it's not an idea that's coming from the time travelers. It feels like they're against this. They're not for this at all. But they're not, they have to let it play out, because there are only certain things that they can, if they change too much, the whole thing collapses. That's what I'm hearing. It's like a tent, and it's being held up by these poles. And if they change too many of the poles, the whole thing just breaks down. So certain things they just have to let play out and hope for the best. Okay, that's interesting. All right. Interesting. So moving on to the next one. Are there hidden messages in our world left by time travelers? They said no. All of a sudden I heard a very sharp, I don't even have to pull a card. I heard a very sharp no. None. And this could mean that even if there were, they wouldn't, they don't want us to know this. They don't want us to know this, but they're very, no, there are no hidden messages. Does time travel operate in a way that creates alternate timelines, or is it limited to one shared timeline? Is there only one timeline? Or does it go, remember those books in the 80s and 90s? I used to love them as a kid, where you had multiple choice endings. So depending on what you chose reading the book, it would lead you to one ending, and then you had to go and restart the story. And then you would choose differently each time, and it would lead you to a different ending each time. I used to love those. And they're saying that's what it's like. That's what it's like. So you have multiple choices and they go into multiple realities. Each choice leads somewhere else. Yeah. So you have multiple choices and each choice leads. What they showed me was what my, they said you already know this. Like I literally just heard you already know this. And they showed me the grid of consciousness and I did a video on that. And they said that everything is conscious. The universe is conscious. This whole field that we're moving through that we call space-time is conscious. It's consciousness itself. It is conscious and it is aware. And we are points of its awareness moving through the field of consciousness. So if this is consciousness, and let's say there's an experience, and it might even be a thing, like a thing is just manifested light or manifested creation, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And so if we're here and we're the light of awareness, and I could draw an I here, so I am aware that I am here, then that's what we experience, right? That's what we call experience. Our awareness in a certain realm or field or particular point of consciousness. And so that's what they're saying it is. So every decision that we make on this level of base awareness, what we choose to be aware of in any given situation, is the free will choice. And that allows us to move through this grid. So if I choose, okay, I'm in a state of unhappiness, or I'm in the state of Colorado, or what we agree upon, this is what Colorado looks like in the collective consciousness, and my awareness is that I'm in Colorado and I'm feeling happy, then that's what I'm going to, that's the field of consciousness I'm moving through. The only constant is the I am, and everything else is the field, okay? The only truth is the I am, full stop. So when you close your eyes and you say to yourself, I am, and you feel that, that's all there truly is. Everything else is consciousness. That means everything else is the field. That means everything else is the fabric through which our awareness of I am, the purity of that, moves through. And so that's what they're saying. Okay. Next question. Yay. What lessons is humanity meant to learn about the nature of time? That time, what lessons are we meant to learn, meant to learn about the nature of time? The nature of time. What lessons are we meant to learn about the nature of time? Time. That it is fluid. Okay, this is all stuff that we know. What lessons are we meant to learn about the nature of time? We create time. We create time. You create time, I'm hearing. Time is the resistance to what you are experiencing. Okay, I'll leave it at that, you guys. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Then I've heard that before, to be honest. I've heard that before. Time is the resistance to what you are experiencing. Are we being guided by future selves to prevent catastrophic events? So sometimes, you know, things happen and people hear something. They hear something in their ear or something. They'll say, my angel came to guide me. Is that angel actually your future self? And I'll tell you guys a story. This was back when I was living in Vancouver, and I had a 5-speed car, and I went to, because our post guy, he sometimes got the names and the addresses. You know, he was sometimes the neighbor's post would land on our doorstep, and sometimes our post would land on the neighbor's doorstep. So I realized the neighbor had mail on their doorstep, and we, you know, whoever first came, we checked and made sure, like, they would also run over to our house and check the mail, or we'd go over there and just leave their mail and take ours, stuff like that, right? So I was going to drive to work, and I pulled the handbrake and put the car in neutral and jumped out because I thought the handbrake, you know, the car's not going anywhere. I left the car running. Stupid. But, you know, we do this all the time, right? Went to grab the mail, and all of a sudden I hear really loud, like a loud, "Hey!" And I turn around, and there's nobody there, but my car is rolling. Nobody there, nobody at the windows. There was nobody home. Everybody had gone to work. The entire street was completely quiet. There was nobody there, and I ran back, and I was able to jump in the car and like push the brake before it banged into the cars that were further down. So was that my future self, spirit? Stuff like that happens to people. Was that my a future self, or a version of a future self? And they're saying no. Oh, I'm hearing the future self does not exist because you exist outside of time. Ooh. There is no future self or version of you. You are always, you are who you are. And there are no separate future selves. There are no separate future selves. Okay? Because you create the future as you create time. Does that have to do with aging, spirit? Does that have to do with aging, this resistance to time? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's move on. What does the future of time travel hold for humanity's evolution? Will we be traveling in time in the future? And what does it hold for evolution? They're saying no. We won't. No, they won't answer any questions on that. Okay. What lessons would humanity need to learn before responsibly accessing time travel? Love. Where there's love, there is no resistance. Love exists outside of time. Okay. So you mean we don't experience time when we are in love? Correct. Okay. Okay. Do individuals who claim to have traveled through time have genuine experiences, or are they influenced by otherworldly energies? Genuine experiences of the release of resistance. Okay. okay, I'll just, take that, because the feeling I'm getting when they're speaking about resistance, they keep showing me like a shuttle returning to Earth. And I can't draw, as you guys know. I mean, I can, but I'm one of those that needs time. I can't just sketch. So I see a shuttle returning to Earth, and as it hits Earth's atmosphere, right, it heats up, like it starts heating up, and it grows hotter and hotter, and that's because of the resistance generates energy. And they're saying it has something to do with that when there's no resistance, right? So if we could somehow travel through these layers without resisting them, or without any resistance, then it doesn't generate any energy, and that doesn't how should I put this? You're showing it to me, but you're not giving me the words. And then it doesn't harm us. It doesn't harm us. And then we can no harm to us, and we can accept. So it's saying that because we cannot accept, because we fear that it is going to harm us, we create resistances which generate energies which push back on us and keep us locked in a certain place. Okay, hope that made sense. All right. Then, has humanity already tampered with time in ways we don't understand yet? Yes. And all of a sudden they're showing me the atomic bomb, and that has ripples throughout space, time. And it's not just we experience it as space-time. They experience it as space, some species, but not all. And some just experience the frequency, or the energy wave that causes friction in their realm, resistance in their realm. Okay. Okay. Are there forces like governments, entities, or other dimensions protecting us from the dangers of time travel? No. Beyond the not knowing, the information protects itself. Okay. Is time travel a metaphor for accessing past lives or alternate dimensions? Is time travel a metaphor for accessing past lives or alternate dimensions? No. It literally means on this tangent of reality to reverse the sequence of events. Okay. Then what else? Is the concept of time as humans perceive it merely an illusion? Yes. And what else? Are we already time traveling through dreams, astral projections, or meditative states? Yes. 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 Okay. 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 So there you have it, my friends. And so much to time travel. Is this something that we'll be doing in the future? Yes. Ace of Wands. Is this something that we need to worry about or learn? Magician, it has to do with self-control. Is this something that we will be doing with our bodies, physically time traveling? So going back with this body into the past and seeing the body of our past selves? A reawakening and a holding. It is possible. It is possible, but there's a divine decree that needs to happen. That's what I'm hearing. A divine decree that has to happen for that to be permitted. It would be the reversal. Oh gosh, these are the twins from The Shining. It would be a reversal of natural law. That's literally what I'm hearing. It would be the reversal. And there are angelic, all of a sudden we're running into the angel guarding the Garden of Eden. That angel that has been posted to keep us from doing certain things. We're running into that. And that angel is it's going to be a deep primal, also like a really indescribable fear, even though the angel itself is from a divine perspective not negative or fearsome, but to us it's going to appear very fearsome, very dark, very negative, very off-putting, very evil, very malevolent. But it's a very strong impetus for us to not go there. And if we manage to push past that and to maintain some kind of, equilibrium in the face of fear, then we might get to experience that. It does seem as if time travel is something that is done with consciousness, awareness. And do we see are there beings that have projected here through time? And it's already told me yes, but I want to hear it again. And it's giving me a yes. Ace of Coins. And the core essence of something. The core essence is what goes through time. Okay. You guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, what you feel, what came up for you. And if you enjoyed these videos and any topics that you have ideas upon, which you may want to see. Okay. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.